Hello, I'm Paul Orselli, and I'm happy to be joined today by Amparo Leyman Pino. Hi, Amparo, how are you?
Hi, Paul. I'm doing great. Thank you for
That's
inviting me to share some thoughts.
okay. Well, that's the perfect intro because, Ampis, what's just one thing you would like to share with people about exhibits?
Well, one thing is I have a specialty of designing experiences for very young children, 0 to 5. And for this group age, I think that children are capable and competent to use tools, hammers, saws, pliers, right? And build things. And they're also capable and competent to understand science. Sometimes we think that, oh no, till they are teenagers because they don't have abstract thinking, but they have concrete thinking. So if we're very smart in our exhibit design, children can learn science. And those are the two things that I'm always advocating and thriving on. Let's do it. Children can, very young children are capable and competent to do science and use tools to learn science or build.
Well, well, I love that idea, but how do you respond if, to a client or to adult caregivers who are like, "Ooh, I'm worried my kids are going to get hurt," or "Are you sure?" Or that, like, how do you respond, or how would you encourage other exhibit developers who don't want to underestimate young children? How would you respond?
Well, first of all, I think that, of course, there's a safety issue involved, and we need to assure that that safety is put into place. So when we are handling a hammer or playing with circuits and electricity, we're very clear with children, right? Children love to learn what is okay and what is not okay. They need boundaries, they need these limits. But within limits and within safety, they can learn to use the tools. So the do's and don'ts with a hammer, right? Pay attention where you're putting your finger, right? Or maybe is use a plier to hold the nail and then use the hammer, but they are using the tools to build or to deconstruct something, right? I do love that those exhibits where children are really putting apart like electronics
Yeah,
and they,
take apart tables.
yeah, exactly. I love those. I saw it on Ontario Science Center. Nemo has or had their own. And it's so fun to see children really like ripping things off, right? And sometimes they do it at home without intention. And but they're capable and competent to do those things. So if you're worried, right, there are ways to help children to know how to use the tool. The DuPage Children's Museum, they have a shop where children are using these tools. It's so short that adults cannot fit in it, but they can be outside, like keeping an eye on them. It's very empowering when you see those things, right? And there was another program in Sweden also. I saw that this guy was like with soldered um paste and such with circuits, and they were using hammers and pliers and electricity. It was amazing, and children are really, if you give them, because also you can use play, right, to be in the character of, oh, you're now a scientist, now you're um, a physicist, you're gonna play with electricity. Well, they pay attention, they are really into the character, right? So they do it with that commitment of combining play and real life and pretend play. It's really cool.
Well, that's awesome. So I just have to, I'm just prompted to ask you a question that I don't think I've ever asked you before, but it makes me think about it based on the just one thing that you're sharing, to really give especially young children, real experiences and real tools. So, were you a child who had those sorts of experiences? Does that resonate with you, or were you a child who maybe didn't get those experiences?
No, we were all the time. My brothers and I, we love pretend play, and if we were playing to be spies, we were forging our passports. We were dressing up. We had the suitcases, the walkie-talkies. So it was like to be real, right? To have this thing. I was also a child that we moved into a big house that had these old phones, dialing phones. They were
Yeah.
not old in the sense that, oh, we were in the button. No, no, no. We were also having dial phones, but these looked like old and they were not working. And my brother and I, we made them work. We
No.
we cut the things, and I was 9 years old, right? I was not in the 0 to 5 bracket anymore, but I was doing those type of things of, oh, let's fix and let's open the radio where it's not working and things like that, right? Yeah, I was all the time and getting in trouble, right? That's another thing that I did as a kid. And yeah.
Well, I think you know they say the child is you can see the child in every adult. You know, you can kind of see the sort of child they were. So I'm going to always imagining you dressing like a spy with your brothers, or fixing the telephones in the house. So that's great. Well, Amparo, I thank you so much for sharing that just one thing, which I'm sure we both think is an important thing, giving children those real experiences. And since we are on YouTube, we will definitely share your website and contact info below. And if you or I have any resources or links to share related to this topic, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. And thank you so much for inviting me and share just one thing.
Okay, thanks, Humphreys.